Get in the know. Non-stop Vikings talk. It's Purple Daily on Score North and ScoreNorth.com.
At one point, he was the Heisman frontrunner. And yes, he is coming off an ACL, but if he goes to the Vikings, you don't need him to come in and play right away. I think he can get acclimated. Kevin O'Connell, we know, is good with quarterbacks. We know the structure there should be good. There's good young receivers. I think he is that would be an ideal spot for him. And people I've talked to think Hendon Hooker, it wouldn't surprise them if he went above Will Levis. I mean, they like him that much and they're intrigued by him. Yes, it's going to be a projection with his offense, what he did, but he has time. He's not going to be battling for the job right away.
Bruce Feldman has a great radio voice.
Is that Bruce Feldman? Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's soothing.
So he's at The Athletic now. He's one of the most plugged in college football reporters the last 10 or 15 years. And he did, when we went over this on Purple Daily, his mock draft from, I think it was earlier this week or maybe late last week. And he talked to a bunch of people inside college football, scouts in the NFL, and he deduced, not based on his own opinion, but he deduced that there's some Hendon Hooker Vikings steam here. And that was him explaining. Someone sent us a link yesterday on Twitter. The what's it called? The 33rd team, the platform that like Rick Spielman does. Yeah, Mike Tannenbaum, Zimmer. And Mike Martz is one of their content creators, the former Rams head coach and offensive coordinator back in the day. And there's like a 10-minute video of him breaking down Hendon Hooker and how surprised he was at how flawless the mechanics were of Hendon Hooker. And how there's a few little accuracy things here and there, but that he's super accurate, very Kirk Cousins like, and that he can put a football right on the hands of a crossing route receiver, right? And so it was Mike Martz essentially saying, hey, this offense is definitely tricked up and it's a very well schemed offense, but he was meticulous and flawless in his mechanics and execution, and is a very interesting NFL prospect. So how much do you believe Mike Martz, I guess, is the question there.
I'm not buying this. I'm still not buying this. I'm just not. It just
What do you mean this? You're not buying Hendon Hooker? I'm
not buying that Hooker's going to go in the first round, or he might creep his way into the top 4 quarterbacks in the draft. I'm just not. I've seen it before. Like I need to. I can't dismiss the fact that that the people who are concerned about Hooker have very good, legitimate concerns about it. And this just feels like, April Fool's hits and we just get all out of sorts with so much misleading steam, right? Like just all this like razzle dazzle. This guy's the guy now. And look at this. Like we've seen this before. I'm just very hesitant to get fooled. Hooker might be fine. I just don't think he goes first round.
All right. Well, we will see. Yeah. We'll see all together on April 27th. We actually did a little walkthrough yesterday at Park Tavern. We're super excited for the 2023 Surly Draft Party at Park Tavern in St. Louis Park. Purple Daily will be streaming live throughout the night, starting at 7. The actual gathering starts at 6. We'd love to meet as many of you as possible. So let us know. Hit us up on Twitter. Just let us know if you're planning on being there. A lot of people were traveling in last year from out of state. We had people traveling in from Texas and Florida, and Evan from Atlanta came flying in, California. So we're super pumped.
And if you're saying to yourself now, because I put this plug out last year, and I got a lot of grief from both of you guys, but I tried to help out with hotel accommodations. So if you're saying to yourself now, I'm going to be coming in for the draft party, St. Louis Park, where can I stay? Check out the West End. The West End. You can. It's a quick Uber ride or Lyft ride. Phil, I think you lived right by there for a year or so.
I did. It was great. It was during the pandemic. Kind of sucked, but it's a great area. It's a great area.
There's a lot of lodging though. West End, St. Louis Park. If you're just saying to yourself, I'd like to come in. Where am I supposed to stay?
Love the West End. Everything was closed during the pandemic. It wasn't its
fault the pandemic hit.
I love how Judd thinks it's hard for people to find hotels on the internet.
I'm just throwing it out there for our listeners and our viewers. I try to help as much as possible.
There's a Motel 6 right off 694. Plenty of openings for you guys. Yep.
I have Easter brunch in the West End on Sunday. I got Easter brunch at a spot in the West End. Great little area. Pandemic had sucked, but yeah, no, it's great. It's a great area. I love it.
Yeah, you make it sound like the pandemic was the West End's fault.
I blame
West
the West
End
End
had nothing
fully.
to do with the pandemic.
I don't know. I heard there was a virus incubator inside the AMC theaters.
My club had nothing to do with the pandemic.
And a shout out to our friends at TCL, now an official partner of the NFL. No matter what you watch, TCL has award-winning TVs for any budget, any space, all with stunning picture quality. And TCL makes more than just TVs. They offer mobile products, audio devices, home appliances. TCL brings you joy and simplicity through innovative technology. Learn more at TCL.com. All right, we love to rank things on Purple Daily and Mackie and Judd. So we did this last summer, and I'm guessing we'll probably do it because I'd love to do a ranking at some point too. But Judd presents to you guys today with all the roster shifting, saying goodbye to some players.
Yep.
It's been almost a year since we did this. The top 10 current Minnesota Vikings.
From 10 to 1. If I could please get like the horn or something, just to call for some sound effects. Thank you very much.
Do you want the horn between everyone?
Yeah,
okay.
That'd be awesome. Thank you very much. All right, the top 10 current Vikings. I'm going to start with the first guy off the list. So this guy was on the borderline of 10. I considered it, but yet I didn't get him on there yet. He is expected, I think, to play a pretty big role for the 2023 Vikings. Honorable mention, Marcus Davenport. Just signed as a free agent from the Saints. Half a sack last year.
Half a sack
last year. But you know what? You go back before that. Again, the Vikings are counting on him maintaining his health. If he does, I think he plays a key role. I think there are more changes to come. Right now, I'm not going to reflect those, so I'm going with who is on the roster. But that is honorable mention, which leads us to number 10 on the list.
I just find it interesting that half a sack Davenport is knocking on the door of top. I prefer my edge rushers with a full sack.
Yeah, you know what? You can be as smart ass as you want to be, but I'm bringing you the meat and potatoes of the expectations of this team and where things stand as we discuss this on April, whatever the hell the date is today.
The 6th. All right, number 10.
Number 10 is a guy who has fallen, I think, from both the list that Phil presented to you in the fall, and if I'm not mistaken, I did one as well, but I don't recall exactly, so just scrap that. Number 10 is Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook, who has definitely fallen off, still played a key role, and if he comes back, I'm guessing is going to be used a lot. I mean, I don't know at this point in time, but I can't, in good conscience, I can't completely scrub him yet until he's gone from the top 10. So Dalvin Cook has fallen for sure, but he is still number 10 on the list.
So we're going to have to do this again once they trade Dalvin Cook for a 6th-round pick. And
I've thought about this. So I actually came up after I'm done with this list with a very quick one replacing some guys.
Oh, so you have a second list.
So I've got a second list, but it's not long because I don't expect a ton of guys from this list to be gone. But yes, I have come up with a second list, and let's just say half a sack Davenport might get on that list.
Maybe that should be another episode. Maybe that should be like a second episode. The guys that aren't those.
It's very quick. It's too quick. I tried. I thought about that. It's very quick.
I'm gonna time you.
Okay, you put me on the clock. You're late to put me on the clock. Number 9.
We're good. We're good to explore the space with this list. It's more the next list.
No, the next one's going to be very quick.
We worry it's going to run into random Viking of the Week time.
No, it's not. Okay. It's not. Number 9 on this list is Za'Darius Smith.
Wow.
Za'Darius Smith, who I do expect to be. I think he's probably gone as well. And certainly, once he hurt his knee in November against Buffalo, I think he had himself, one sack the rest of the season. But he had been incredibly effective up until that point. In fact, I thought that he might push for comeback player of the year. He was playing so well. So he did get hurt. I don't expect him back. But as of right now, number 9, Za'Darius Smith.
Interesting, and I don't. I guess I haven't done my own list yet, but I don't disagree with you on these. And it is interesting that 2 of their top 10 current players might not be here in 3 months.
Correct.
It's just kind of interesting.
Interesting little theme Judd's got going here. I wonder what number the next guy on this list is here.
The next guy on the list was a guy we thought might be on the chopping block, but he was not. And I think all three of us agreed that was a good decision. Harrison Smith is number 8. Harrison Smith is 8. And yes, towards the bottom of this list is more defense, because I actually, as I parsed through this, could not find, and I guess it's not a shock with the team having as bad a year defensively as they did. I couldn't find a lot of guys who were pushing to be in the upper echelon. They're still good players, but like Za'Darius, Harrison, they're good players. I don't think that they're top 5. So Harrison's 8.
I'm really excited to watch him, if depending on how much he has left. And I think he has another year or two left of at least relatively high level play. His game has never really been about speed. Like some of those physical tools can erode a little bit,
right?
And he can still be effective. And this system, I mean, the Dolphins by 10 miles 2 years ago in Flores' last year had the most safety blitzes in the NFL. So, I mean, Harrison Smith is going to be lurking around the line of scrimmage doing Harrison Smith things. So it wouldn't shock me if in a year from now we're doing this list and he's still with the Vikings, maybe, that he might be even higher because the system would benefit him. So, okay.
Certainly a possibility. Okay, number 7 is the first, I think, intriguing one. And actually, if we do this list halfway through the 2023 season, in my opinion, this will hopefully be too low. But as of right now, I think it's fair. Newcomer, cornerback, maybe inside, maybe outside, maybe both. Byron Murphy Jr. He's 7. I think he needs to move up. Like once we see him play, I'm hoping that he gets more to like 4 or 5. But as of now, sight unseen as a Viking, number 7.
And with him, it's kind of similar in a different way because he's 10 years younger than Harrison Smith. But can the system elevate him more than, because he was in Arizona for 4 years, right? And now he's over here. And God, that organization, did you see the story that came out yesterday that now there's a lawsuit with like one of their former executives against the Bidwells, and
they had a burner
just a
phone.
Train wreck. Yeah.
They had a burner phone and were communicating with the GM who was suspended at the time.
Yeah.
And I think in treatment, Steve Keim, I think he was in treatment as well. But besides that, it was all fine.
So the players did that NFLPA survey and basically said across all areas of the organization, total train wreck. So Byron Murphy getting out of that and into one of the best organizations with a great defensive coordinator, et cetera. We'll see what happens.
Number 6 on the list. We get to the offensive side of the ball, not surprisingly. TJ Hawkinson.
Ooh, outside the top 5.
He's outside the top 5, and you'll find out why. Yeah. And you might disagree, but you might not. But TJ Hawkinson, who was, of course, acquired from Detroit at the trade deadline last year, in what has proven to be just a fantastic trade, I think, is number 6 on the list.
Yep, and I think he has a good chance to move up into the top 5.
Agreed.
Because I'm thinking of a couple. There's a couple guys here. Well, one in particular that might not. 2 in particular that might not be here in a year. 2 in particular.
I like where you're going.
That might not be here in 3 or 4 months, depending on how the offseason.
I like where you're going. You got me. You get me.
Oh. Sorry, I've been forgetting to hit the Vikings horn between.
I know. I was going to say
here.
something, but then Declan complains about the fact that I am high maintenance, and then we all just start to quarrel, and I don't need quarrels right now. Number 5 on the list. One of the guys that Phil Mackey just referred to, and he's right. He might be gone. Heck, he might be gone by the draft. Who knows? During the draft, Danielle Hunter.
Yeah.
He is a top 5 cornerstone guy. Now, I understand that there probably are reasons to potentially trade him, contractual, age, timing of things. But that being said, as long as he is here and is an effective player, and he was in 2022, I know he didn't always, show up on the stat sheet as much, but he still had a very good, solid year. And I think PFF basically said he had a great year. Danielle Hunter remains a force. He's number 5 on the list.
Yep. Such an interesting case. We've done a few deep dives into him. This is one of those classic examples, and the Vikings have had a bunch of these in the last few years of you're trying to weigh how good he is now versus how quickly the age cliff could come sneaking up on you. Also, with a third component of could you trade him and sell high for some draft capital that you desperately need over the next couple of years.
Right.
Is he more valuable to your team the next 2 years as a 29, 30-year-old edge rusher? Or is he more valuable as a future second and third round pick that you could get in a trade and the cap space that you would gain by saying goodbye?
So what you're saying is if I was to be a trader on Wall Street and I had a stock that was really, really high right now, but you know
Correct.
what? But you know what? Insider information is coming to me telling me you might want to trade that stock.
Isn't that the
maybe
beauty
is
of
smarter.
when you go from trading stocks on Wall Street to trading stocks in the NFL? Insider information is not only not illegal, it's encouraged that you gather inside information, insider trading.
And plus, I love seeing players as stocks.
Because you're
I do.
Because you're a sports fan sociopath.
Yes. I love seeing players. Players are stocks. Like, I can't worry about you and your family.
They shouldn't
okay?
have families.
You're
They
professional.
shouldn't have,
No, they
shouldn't
can.
have kids. They shouldn't have lives.
I prefer they don't have kids. During the
Certainly
season.
shouldn't play internationally. Certainly.
God, no. Thank God football does none of that. No, thank God. Okay, number 4 on my list, Brian O'Neill, right tackle. The tackles on this team are cornerstone guys. There's no question about it. They are cornerstone guys. And both will show up in this top 5. Brian O'Neill at number 4.
Okay, no one is doing this, and I'm not going to harp on it, but I feel like we're glossing a little bit over his injury.
Yes.
Oh, sure.
It's a partially torn Achilles tendon. The last time a Vikings offensive tackle, right tackle, had an Achilles injury was Phil Lodeholt, and it ended his career.
Yep.
I think around the same, maybe Phil might have been a couple years older.
You're right. Asterisks.
Are we
right by him?
Or just kind of assuming like, oh, he's Brian O'Neill. He's one of the best. He's going to come bouncing back. Should we be a little bit more panicked about the nature of his injury, I guess?
I need to see how it unfolds. O'Neill plays right tackle, but if you recall, Lodeholt was a massive man. Like, he was a massive guy. O'Neill's not as big, and so I don't know if that creates less potential wear and tear in coming back. But I think it definitely should be earmarked as a concern. I think you're right. That being said, I can't ding him yet until we actually know more. I mean, can he start training camp? Okay, no. Can he start the season? No. Well, then it changes this list. But I think for the purposes of doing this list in April, I think what you're saying is absolutely correct. I don't think I can ding him though and like drop him a lot. Yeah.
So for the record, to your point about Lodeholt, he is one of the biggest human beings I have personally ever met and stood next to. Yeah. His listed playing size was 6'8", 343 pounds.
And
Brian O'Neill is 6'7", but a lean 310, 315 pounds listed.
And what would you say Phil really weighed?
Probably, I would say more than 343.
360-ish?
Yeah, he was a haul. He was 28 years old when he tore his Achilles, tried to come back for his age 29 season, and he never played again. O'Neill, 27 when he partially tore his Achilles. So you could say there's like a year or 2 years difference in age and a size difference. So maybe all those things added up help him. But I would just be a little nervous.
I hear you. I hear you. All right, so Brian O'Neill is 4. Number 3, Crusaders, cover your ears. Cover your ears just for this. Okay, thank you. Kirk Cousins.
Wow.
Kirk Cousins is number 3. Kirk Cousins is 3. All right, Crusaders, come back now. It's fine. Things are fine. Nothing to see
Declan's
here.
a Crusader now, apparently.
He's a Crusader.
A mustache and now.
Guy gets a mustache. Has Kirk ever done the mustache or just the beard?
He's done the beard.
We should do, if he's still a Viking, we should push for Kirk to do some sort of Movember situation. Kirkvember, Movember.
Ooh. Raise
some money for a good cause.
Ooh, that's a great
idea.
Let's
get a stash on Kirk.
That's a great idea. Kirk Cousins is 3, though, which I think is fair. He is 1,000% on this team a top 5 guy. Is he a top 2 guy? In my opinion, no. In my opinion, he's not. In my opinion, the 2 guys that I'm going to bring you after this are far more secure as far as being among the best at their position in this league. And I think that's the key here, right? Like, can you push the envelope if you're certainly going to be atop this list, but if you're going to be a top 2 player, can you push that envelope of being a top player at your position in this league? And Cousins can't. He cannot.
So here's another question, and we've kind of tiptoed around this a little bit. I think we've all been, despite the perception of this show, we've all been super complimentary of fourth quarter Kirk Cousins, Kirk O'Chains, fully acknowledging the 8 fourth quarter comebacks, the way he played in high leverage situations, all the stats bear it out. That's a huge reason why the Vikings, who are probably supposed to be like a 9-win team, won 13 games, the way that he played in those big moments late in games. If you take the totality of his performance, and again, if given a choice, I'd rather a guy elevate in those big moments, be kind of average. If I had to pick, do you want a guy to be really good and then fart noise at the end of games, or do you want a guy to be kind of like average and then rise up late in games? Give me the guy that rises up late in games. However, he had, since he became a starter in 2015, career low in QBR, career low in passer rating, career low in yards per attempt, and also second worst completion percentage of his career. Still not, I mean, he still was like 65.9, so he wasn't bad.
Right.
But how do you weigh those things? If you're the Vikings, if you're just us, if you're fans?
Personally, I weigh those things as, look, for a long time, we basically joked about, here come Kirk's stats. The Vikings are trailing. Here come his stats. He's going to get the back of the football card stats up now, right? And as we talked about during the season, my feeling is this. Did you lead your team to wins? And the answer in the regular season was unequivocally yes. The actual stats to me, because that's, in my opinion, that was the problem with Kirk. Essentially, going into 2022, a career 500 quarterback who put up great stats. So who cares? So I don't hold the stats against him. I do hold against him the fact that this team in the first round at home lost the game. And yes, he played great at times, but when it mattered most, he couldn't even make the most fundamental of decisions that I need. But you know what? Again, I still think that he is within that, top 10-ish range, 11 or 12. I don't think he's anywhere near the top of the quarterback list. That being said, I'm not going to discredit him, and I am going to credit him for being on a winning team, because for a long time we moaned and complained, and we were right about the fact that his stats, might have been great, but they either didn't make the playoffs or they were essentially a 8-9, 9-8 type of team.
Yep. It's very interesting. We can keep fleshing it out. All right, we're into the top 2 here.
Yep, top 2. Number 2, guy I saw at the Wild game on Monday night. Big hockey fan, I guess.
Yeah.
Left tackle for your Minnesota Vikings, Christian Darrisaw.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I think he is moving up the list to be one of, and this is impressive, and this makes it a really damn good draft pick. Hopefully it's for a long time, but I really think that he is going up the list of left tackles at a position where with a right-handed quarterback, there's a huge premium. Christian Darrisaw, I mean, how many games did we not even think about left tackle last year?
Yeah.
Christian Darrisaw was fantastic. Christian Darrisaw playing one of the most important positions outside of quarterback on your team is number 2 on my list.
So according to Pro Football Focus, among offensive tackles who played at least 20% of the team's snaps last year, here are the overall rankings in terms of just grade across the board. Number 1, Trent Williams. Is he a Hall of Famer? Trent Williams?
Yeah, I think, yes. I think
probably Hall of Famer. Number 2, Christian Darrisaw.
Okay. See.
I mean, if you want to go run blocking, number 1, Trent Williams. Number 2, Caleb McGarry with the Falcons. Number 3, Christian Darrisaw. And then in terms of just pressures allowed, fewest pressures allowed among these guys, and I'll go guys who played 1,000 snaps. Well, he played 800, so we'll go guys who played 800. And he's right in the mix, man. He only gave up 23 pressures all season. 23 pressures all season in 15 games I think he played. So like a pressure and a half per game.
It's huge.
He allowed. And he's young. He still probably has 2 or 3 years to get even better. I think tackle is a position where, physically you're going to be what you are for maybe 5 or 6 years. but it probably takes a couple years to figure out what the best edge rushers are trying to do to you, working with your guard, everything. So,
and he is going to get paid. I think it's next spring. He is going to. He is going. I don't know. He's going to break the bank like the next guy on my list is going to, but he's going to get paid a lot.
Only 3 penalties for Christian Darrisaw last year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he's not very handsy.
That's what I'm saying. You don't really see him though because he doesn't get flags. He basically does a fantastic job, and the best part is you don't really notice it. So
yes,
that's number 2 on my list. Number 1 is boring. It's obvious because he's so damn good. Justin Jefferson.
All right,
and there's not much to say about that.
Nope, he's
the man.
Best wide receiver in the NFL.
Pay the man.
You know, yes. Are we a little hypocritical in that we complain about Kirk Cousins' money, but not Justin Jefferson's future money? Maybe, but better to pay the best guy at his position than the 10th to 12th best guy top money at his position.
If Kirk was a top 3 quarterback, I don't think we complain, you guys.
No, if this was Bengals Daily, or what would it be? I guess what word
Daily or I don't know.
Orange and Orange Stripes Daily.
Stripes.
Or something.
I was gonna say stripes, something like the Stripes.
Yeah. Would we be sitting here gnashing our teeth over a potential Joe Burrow contract? Because he's in that category of guys that you just pay and figure out. Just pay him. He's good enough to lead a franchise to overcome, as we saw, probably a worse offensive line a year ago than the Vikings had, and took his team to a Super Bowl. So
correct.
All right, so there it is. Judd's top 10 current Vikings. Dalvin Cook from 10 down to 1. Dalvin Cook, Zadarius, Harrison Smith, Byron Murphy, TJ Hawkinson are 10 through 6. Danielle Hunter, Brian O'Neill, Kirk Cousins, Christian Darrisaw, and Justin Jefferson. So
just to quickly go through this, a list if Zadarius Smith and Dalvin Cook are gone. So I'm not going to assume Hunter's gone yet. Like, they're not going to lose both guys, right? And I'm guessing that their preference would be to keep Hunter and to trade Smith. What's interesting about this is nothing changes 1 through 8, 9 and 10 change. And the intriguing thing is this shows you sort of the lack of depth of like quality right now. Number 10, it's not a bad guy, but I wouldn't consider him to be a mainstay in my top 10. Harrison Phillips. And number 9, Marcus Davenport.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I mean, so you look, there's more here. There's more to come here. Like
you're
going to
need like Lewis Seen to be in that mix.
Exactly.
You're going to need Andrew Booth Jr. or someone to be in that mix at some point. So I have another interesting mock for you guys and a random Viking of the week from Declan here. But a shout out to our friends at Federated Mutual Insurance Company. They've been so helpful for us as we build this business, Score North and Purple Daily, the last few years. And they've been around since 1904, providing a guiding hand for business owners, not only in Minnesota, but all across the country. Federated is all about risk management, tools and resources that can help you maximize the success of your business. Find out what they can do for you at federatedinsurance.com, where it's our business to protect yours. And I don't know, Declan, did you use a Manscaped blade to create this perfectly manicured mustache?
Yeah, you don't get this mustache just by habit. You know, you don't glue the facial hair like Mackie kind of rudely suggested on the top of my lip yesterday. You get this by a Manscaped blade, okay? But, it is also Easter weekend. And, whether you're hiding your eggs, you got to make sure that, your eggs aren't behind tall grass themselves. So you need to make sure your downstairs is even getting mowed, okay? It's very, very important. Inside this ball care bunny basket, if you will, there is a lawnmower 4.0, a weed whacker 2.0 for the ears and nose. Don't sleep on the ears and nose trimming. Very important to trim up that as well. You can get plenty of these products, whether it's for the mustache, downstairs, ears, nose, head, shoulders, knees, and toes, at manscaped.com. 20% off with promo code PURPLE. That's promo code PURPLE, 20% off, free shipping for any product at manscaped.com. When you use the promo code PURPLE, go to manscaped.com and check out with that promo code PURPLE and get yourself a nice new blade.
Whenever I get done trimming the greens, as soon as I'm done, this is the noise that, there it is, I'm done. It's great. Nice, so fresh and so clean. All right, boys, it is time for yet another mock draft.
I want a mock!
Sorry, Bob. Sorry, Bob. That sounder. There's like 5% of you who hate that sounder. 95% of you, thank you for supporting the I Want to Mock lifestyle. So I'm going to share this. We actually had our guy Cooper, notable Timberwolves YouTuber, asked me yesterday. He's like, "Why don't you just like put the mocks on the screen for the YouTube audience?" Yeah, that's a pretty good idea. So this is from the Football Guys, footballguys.com.
Football. Is this new, or have we just not found it before?
I've never seen this before.
Okay.
Footballguys.com here. I mean, it looks like a pretty elaborate website.
Yeah, it looks nice.
I don't know.
Well
They've got an email, a forum. They've got a shop here too. Actually, let's go to the shop here real quick.
Give him a little
What's
plug.
on Football Guy? Look at this. Look like a champion. We should actually buy some of this.
Are those shoes I can get from the Football Guys?
I think you can. Look at this. Pretty interesting. So
Why don't we just go in our
congratulations for your free plug. Talk to Ross. Ross is in charge of merch going forward here. So we could probably get some Purple Daily sneaks for Judd.
Yeah,
let's see what the Football Guys have the Vikings doing here. We've done 45 mock draft roundups. A lot of quarterback and wide receiver steam lately among some of the more prominent mockers. The Football Guys have C.J. Stroud going to the Panthers, Bryce Young going to the Texans, Anthony Richardson going to the Colts who trade up with the Cardinals here. So 3 quarterbacks in the first 3 picks.
Okay.
All right, Cardinals take Tyree Wilson. A couple of edge rushers here. Seahawks take Will Anderson Jr.
Football Guys.
Who's on the clock at 6 here? Oh my God. It's the Football Guys.
Those sneaky guys.
Crazy rascals. The Football Guys have the Minnesota Vikings trading up and on the clock with the number 6 pick. Another trade with Detroit. Apparently the Vikings and the Lions just throw haymaker trades back and forth.
This is incredible.
And the Vikings select Will Levis, quarterback from the University of Kentucky.
I want to mock.
Mercy.
So here for the YouTube audience, you can see the trade here. For the audio audience, I'll just read this here. The Vikings quietly met with Anthony Richardson and not that quietly.
Well,
everyone knows they met with Anthony Richardson.
Football Guys, just say they met. You don't have to say quietly like you just found it out.
They had Will Levis hold a football, and he told everyone about it.
Don't say anything about it, though.
Hey, Josh, tell the media this.
Yeah.
Rick, we can hear you.
And by the way, watch the Masters.
Tiger Woods, +2 through 5 holes here. It's over for Tiger. Keeps bogeying everything. By the way, he's already sweated through his shirt 5 holes into the first round.
It's hard getting old. You try it.
Barely walk. Yeah, that's the thing.
Anyhow, Kirk Cousins' contract and age indicate it could be time to get aggressive here. Levis doesn't have first-round film, but he has the athleticism and tools that NFL teams covet in their quarterbacks. KOC coordinated a Super Bowl-winning offense for Matthew Stafford. He'd hope to mold Levis into a similarly successful quarterback in this scenario. Here's the trade details from the Football Guys. So the Vikings and the Lions would swap the 6 and the 23. The Vikings would also send the 119 and a 2024 first and second round pick to the Lions, who would then kick back, in addition to the number 6, the 81st overall pick this year. So you'd have Will Levis, the 81, the 87, no 119, and then your other picks. But you'd be giving up a future first and second round pick to make this happen.
Oh, boy. I love the Football Guys. I didn't see this coming.
The Football Guys. Let's get it.
Football.
Amazing. All right, I'll pop this off the screen here. Looks like we're going to have to keep tabs on that mock draft website going forward.
So, thoughts?
Well, it's so hard because if it's just me, like I don't personally have enough confidence in Will Levis based on everything I've read and seen to move up that far. But on the other hand, if Kevin O'Connell got in a room with Will Levis and said, yep, from a leadership perspective, football IQ, he had no weapons last year at Kentucky. We can mold this guy. If I would just sort of trust Kevin O'Connell, and also the Vikings are competitive almost every year. So unless you're just waiting for someone to fall into your lap at pick 23 every year, or unless you want to get lucky with a second or third round pick, which almost never pan out. I know Jalen Hurts did, but we've gone over the list. Like, it is a crapshoot in the first round. Once you get outside the first round, it's even more of a crapshoot. At some point, this is the type of shot you're going to have to take if you really want one of the top quarterbacks in a draft, because the Vikings don't draft sixth. They just don't.
If you do this, do you have to trade Kirk?
Well, that's the thing. It'd be nice to get some draft capital back, right?
Well, and
I would trade Kirk.
If you draft a guy at 6, I don't know that well, you'll just sit for a year and redshirt son idea is there. Hooker is hurt, right? So, like, if you took him at 23, you would have zero problem saying, Kirk, suck it up, go play, you're fine. And then behind the scenes, O'Connell and his staff work with Hooker.
Yeah.
But if you make this trade, I think you got to trade Kirk.
And it's, to me, it's less about like Kirk's feelings and more about just capital and strategy. So
Right.
I'm going to give up a future first and a future second and whatever, a fourth. I get the second back or the third back, but I'm going to give up all this draft capital, and I'm not going to take and Kirk's going to be pissed. And I'm not going to capitalize on the opportunity for like the 49ers to at least get me a couple third round picks of capital back. You'd almost have to trade him at that point.
I agree.
It'd be malpractice to not trade him.
Yes. Wow, football guys.
But then do you start the season with Will Levis as your starting quarterback, or does Nick Mullins start
no,
for 4
Will
weeks
Levis
or something?
would start for you, I think.
Man.
Like at 6, if you take a guy in the top 10 in 2023, I don't think, unless he's hurt, there's the luxury of saying he'll sit.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. So
And that contract starts then too. That's the thing too, is the contract starts. He's the 6th pick. Do you really want to forfeit a year of the 6th overall pick's contract?
Yeah.
Maybe
No, these are all good questions. Hopefully the football guys considered these things when they were doing bold things like this. It's time now for the random Viking of the week on Purple Daily here. It's usually Judd just destroying either me or Declan in a battle of historical wits.
I had a good week last week.
Judd guessed Anthony Carter after like the third clue. The most recent random Vikings are Anthony Carter, Laquan Treadwell, Ontario Smith, Dwayne Rudd, and Christian Ponder. It's Declan's turn to throw out the clues this week. So me versus Judd. Declan's going to throw out a series of clues. We can throw out guesses whenever we want to. We get up to 3 incorrect guesses. We can ask Declan questions. He can refuse to answer if he wants to. All right.
I told Phil off mic, Judd. I'm actually very excited for this random Viking of the week. I was like,
I thought you always were.
I always am. I'm always am, but I'm especially more excited for this one. I don't know.
Oh, wow.
I was doing
Okay.
my prep, and then I actually had another player in mind. Then I thought of this guy. I was like, oh, we should do this guy. So we're gonna do this guy on random Viking of the week.
Can I guess before any clues are thrown out?
I guess, yeah.
Of course you can. It's going to cost you your guess if you're wrong.
Or should I wait for one clue?
I don't care.
I kind of want to guess before there's any clues, just to if
Declan
if I'm
looks
right, it
distraught
can be
right
a
now, because if
historical
you're right,
moment.
you're going to completely ruin his day.
If I'm right, will it ruin your day?
It won't ruin my day, but
Put a damper on
Do
it.
you think I'm right before I'm guessing?
I don't know. You might be. That's why I'm worried.
You can do it, dude. You can do it.
Is it Joe Anoa, otherwise known as Roman Reigns? Ah, dang it.
Okay, so he crossed my mind on Monday, but then I don't think there's enough like clues. Like I couldn't.
No,
I don't
he's
know
a
if I
train.
could do it.
He
I
was
tried.
I think he got sick during training camp as well.
Well, he would
right?
still count though.
So
Still count.
okay, all right.
Brock
Well, that's
Lesnar
fine.
counted.
Brock
Yeah, that's
Lesnar.
true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Okay.
You know what? I'm not going to fight it. One strike, Phil. So you took too long to get into the box.
I wanted to show off.
You
there.
took too long, and the umpire has already said this. So batter, strike one.
All right, advantage
All right.
Judd here now. This is tough
Clue
now.
1 on random Viking of the week. This random Viking of the week was a 6th round draft pick. This random Viking of the week played for all 4 teams in the NFC North. Fun fact. This random Viking of the week first touchdown came against the Minnesota Vikings in his career.
Some interesting clues here. Trying to think of players that played for all 4 NFC North teams. That's a lot of work in the division, in the black and blue.
This piqued my interest. You at the top of the show mentioned the name Mike Martz. And this guy had multiple stops with Mike Martz.
Mm-hmm.
God, he played for a lot of teams.
Mike Martz.
Although a member of the Minnesota Vikings for almost a full calendar year, he never appeared in a regular season game with the Minnesota Vikings.
Oh, very good.
Okay.
Mike Martz.
A very well-educated random Viking of the week. Get this. I looked at his LinkedIn page. I always love looking at random Vikings LinkedIn page. What are you doing post-career?
You're stalking him.
Yeah, I'm probably going to get a notification that he viewed it, and then he's going to view mine. He's going to be like, who the hell is this guy?
Who the hell is this guy, and what's up with that mustache?
That's not on my
carpet.
LinkedIn photo yet.
The lip carpet has to be soon,
Be prepared. Write that down. He has a bachelor's degree. He has a master's degree from the University of Phoenix. He completed the Executive Education NFL Business Management Entrepreneur Program at Harvard.
Okay.
And he has a PhD from the University of San Diego. Very well educated. He even gave the commencement speech at the University of Phoenix when he received his master's degree.
Master.
Speaking of masters.
Oh, man.
Another little interesting thing I saw here. So yesterday, I checked his Twitter following. Does he have a Twitter? And he does have a Twitter. As of yesterday, he had 7,000 Twitter followers, which I was like, oh, okay. But as of this morning, he has 8,000. He grew 1,000 followers overnight on Twitter by the time I did my initial research on this and today. That's a pretty huge surplus in one day.
So what happened yesterday? Wow. What would have happened yesterday?
So this random Viking of the week I mentioned, he was drafted in 2002. But he did not become a full-time Week 1 starter until the 2008 NFL season.
Okay.
Can you tell us who he started for in 2008?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Not in the NFC North. Though. Not in the NFC North.
So this guy bounced all
Guy played for a
around.
million teams. Guy played for a ton of teams.
Yeah, Mike Martz.
At the time of his retirement, and I have checked, this is no longer true and or an NFL record.
Mm-hmm.
At the time of his retirement, he claimed that no other player at his position played in as many offenses in the NFL in NFL history.
I'm going to take a guess. I don't know if this is even close to being right. JT O'Sullivan.
That was, God dang it. Was literally going to guess that. Nice job.
Wow. So
Great
I was saving a clue that I thought would tip off Mackie immediately, but I knew it would be just one-sided, and it was going to be he has almost 200,000 followers on YouTube. His YouTube channel, the QB Collective.
Okay. So he gained Twitter followers because he probably threw his Twitter out on his YouTube channel.
He was on Mina Kimes' show yesterday.
Okay.
And Mina tweeted out a clip of them talking rookie quarterbacks, and he grew 1,000 followers. So yes, JT O'Sullivan.
You know what's funny?
What a career, man.
I actually swapped emails with him like 2 months ago, just asking about a couple things on YouTube. He's a super nice, cool guy. Yeah, he was in camp with the Vikings.
Yep.
Nice job.
I covered him there in Green Bay.
Another, well, I thought you were with him in Green Bay.
I was,
I thought that was going to be it, but
Great
he
hair.
was behind the following, or he was in the room with the following quarterbacks. Get this: Drew Brees, Doug Flutie, Brett Favre, Brad Johnson, Dante Culpepper, Tom Brady, Alex Smith, Jake Delhomme. I mean, the dude was around a ton of different quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And was a baller in NFL Europe. I don't know if I thought that might have been a much of a bigger clue, but he was the MVP in NFL Europe one year. Has a bunch of records in NFL Europe. Hilarious.
And he has one of the best. If you're just looking for quarterback breakdowns, he's got one of the best channels on YouTube. So check it out. All right, there it is, Judd, with the random Viking of the
What a
week.
snipe from Judd.
Yes.
Those were good.
Nice job.
Good clues, though. I was struggling for a while.
Yeah. All right, we got to run here. We're going to get to a scoop session on Mackie and Judd today, and we actually have some reckless quarterback speculation as well. It's a reckless speculation Thursday over on Mackie and Judd, our other daily show. We will see you tomorrow for some Feedback Friday here on Purple Daily Vikings Entertainment.